Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to auscastnetwork.com for details.
In a world where everyone says hello,
they dare to say,
g'day.
Yeah, g'day.
Yeah, g'day.
Yeah, g'day. Yes, good day. Yeah,
G'day.
G'day. Yeah, g'day. Yeah,
Day.
yeah, good day.
Wow, wow.
Yeah,
good day.
G'day. Hey, yeah, g'day. Yeah, g'day, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, Leon.
Yeah, g'day, everyone.
Yeah, g'day, everyone.
Hello. Hi. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Not you, the people that are listening.
Ah.
I wasn't talking to you.
Makes sense.
Misguided once again. Timothy,
Hello.
it is Sunday.
It is a Sunday.
The holy day in Australia.
Yes.
The day where we mow the lawn, put on our kubras, fight off the kangaroos for the week to come. You got to clean them out of the garden, otherwise they'll rip up the flower bed.
It's similar to gnoming from Harry Potter. You pick them up by their tails, swing them around so they get dizzy, and then you throw them over the hedge.
They're fine. They're unharmed.
Yeah.
But you know what is important on a day like a Sunday, Tim?
I'm assuming you're about to tell me.
It's eating, Tim.
Oh, God, yes.
Eating's important. I'm
Yeah.
hungry right now. I just had breakfast and I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Hungry again.
I had a breakfast lunch of Japanese curry.
We'll talk about that later because you might need to see a doctor
Yeah.
if you're having that for breakfast and lunch. Tim, sometimes for breakfast, lunch, it's good to have some kind of, I guess, spongy cake. It would be good if it had some kind of chocolate layering and then some coconut without any moisture in it. I think would be ideal.
Oh, I think that exists.
You know what, Tim? I think you're right. I think we're talking about Lamingtons.
Ooh, Lamingtons.
Segue. What's up?
Yeah.
Remember how I told you last week I was going to tell you when it's a good episode? That was a good segue.
Yeah. What a well
crafted.
crafted introduction.
Timothy's Lamingtons, Australia's most beautiful dessert.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Yeah, God, they look good. Too good. Do you know anything about Lamingtons?
I didn't.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I know that they're delicious, and I know where to get the best ones, which we can talk about later.
Okay,
I assume.
okay.
Oh, I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know a guy. You know
Yeah.
a guy who makes Lamingtons.
But yeah, no, I've done some research.
Okay.
Because here's the thing about Lamingtons, which we'll discuss, is their origins are shrouded in mystery.
Ooh.
All we know is that this magical chocolate coconut cake appeared one day. That's not true. I have some theories written in front of me about where it's come from. Okay.
It rose from the dead like
So-
Christ on the third day.
yeah. But where was it before? Yeah. So just to clarify for people that don't know what Lamingtons are,
Probably good to start with that.
It's a sponge cake coated in chocolate, and then on top of that, it is dipped in desiccated coconut. Now, what does desiccated mean?
Tim,
Leon?
I wish you'd tell me.
Desiccated, we looked up literally just before starting the show because we were like, I don't know what that means. It means dried coconut. To desiccate is to dry out, essentially.
Now, I think that's unfair. I did say I'm pretty sure it means dried coconut. So
Yeah, that's true. I thought it had something to do with shredding,
Yeah.
but it's kind of both.
Shredded,
Anyway.
dried. Okay, so that's... You know what, Tim? When you say it like that, it doesn't sound great, but I'll tell you what, it is.
It
delicious.
is fucking delicious. So Maurice French, who's an emeritus, I don't know how to say that word, professor of history at the University of Southern Queensland, actually has looked at this question quite in depth because the origins of the Lamington, like I said, are actually kind of, no one's 100% sure of where it came from, where it originated. So he's actually done like full research into it.
How'd you get that past the ethics board?
Oh,
Or like, how'd you get that past the university board? I want to do some research into Lamington.
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost? $5 million.
Yeah. No, but what he's found, isn't it deliciously interesting? So he thinks that Lamingtons were named after either Lord Lamington,
Lord von Lamington
put that
machine.
in your ears and listen to it, who served as governor of Queensland from 1896 to 1901, Queensland being a state of Australia, for people that don't know. Some people don't know these things.
Do they not know that? You should. It's up
People
the top
overseas
somewhere.
might not know that. Yeah.
It's hot.
It's
humid.
It's the northeastern state of Australia.
Sunny.
Or maybe his wife, Lady Lamington.
Ah.
I love that there is a family
of
Lamingtons. Yeah.
There's probably
amazing.
still some.
I imagine the Lamingtons still exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that party trick can never get old.
Yeah.
Steve Lamington. Guess what I've got today? Your namesake. All right, fuck off, Greg.
Yeah.
But again,
The earliest known reference to the naming of the Lamington is from June 1927, and it links it to Lord Lamington. So it's more likely going to be the governor than his wife, but who knows?
probably.
But the identity of the recipe's inventor is actually also pretty hotly debated.
Ooh.
Most stories attribute it to Lord Lamington's chef. He was a French guy named Armand Galland. I'm definitely pronouncing that incorrectly.
Beautiful French.
Who, the story goes, at short notice, he had to create food for a bunch of guests he was not expecting. So using only the limited ingredients he had, he cut up some leftover French vanilla sponge cake that he had baked the day before, dipped the slices into chocolate, set them in coconut, wallabaloo, bing bang bong.
Wallabaloo. Ning nang nong.
Yeah.
Hokey pokey.
We've got Lamingtons, right?
Delicious.
And impressed by his creation, Lamington's guests asked for the recipe. And this is actually supported by Lady Lamington's memoirs. So this is the most likely story.
I want to read
basically.
her memoirs.
Yeah. I wonder if we can get a copy of that. Penguin would probably publish it. They publish everything.
Probably. I did find copies of Martin Cash's autobiography from the other episode. Anyway.
Yeah.
Lady
Anyway.
Lamington's memoirs.
So part of the reason that it was such a big hit at this particular gathering is coconut was not widely used in European cooking at that particular time. But Galland, the cook, his wife was from Tahiti, where obviously coconut was a common ingredient in a lot of stuff. So he had all of this desiccated coconut and he used it. The other possible one is some lady named Amy Shaw. She was a cooking instructor at Brisbane Central College from 1897 to 1938. It's a much more boring story. I like the first one.
It is. Now, my question is, why was the coconut already desiccated?
Well, I imagine if it had been imported from Tahiti, they desiccated it so that it would not rot.
Possibly. I guess they just got out one of those food dehydrators, just plugged it into the power point.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
In 1927.
Yeah, no, sorry. This was earlier than that, wasn't it? This is like late 1800s.
Jeez, yeah. Well, electricity was flowing through all of Australia and still is at that point.
But that's the thought to be the origins. But the first mention of actual Lamington cake appears in a 1896 newspaper account of the Lamington function. But it doesn't specifically mention the cake. It refers to Lamington tea, Lamington soup. So they think maybe it's just a reference to the function itself, possibly.
See, but you can't talk about that shit now because the Lamington is a thing. When you say Lamington tea and Lamington soup, I'm thinking it could be good or could be bad. Like Lamington soup would be chocolate.
I'm 100% down with Lamington soup.
Desiccated coconut, and then the croutons would be vanilla sponge.
Oh God, no,
I'm a
I really
genius.
want that.
I made dessert sushi this week, Tim. I'm a genius. I'm a culinary genius.
That sounds amazing, actually.
I'll make it for you later. I'll warm it up.
Anyway, so the recipe originated in Queensland, it would seem. Regardless of where it actually came from, almost all the stories say Queensland in some capacity.
Well, yeah, that's pretty good.
Spread pretty quickly, appearing in a Sydney newspaper in 1901.
Ooh.
And a New Zealand newspaper in 1902. Ooh, we've already set up for a hot debate.
Yes, for later.
However, none of these recipes indicated the creator of the recipe nor the reason for its name. They never referenced it. They were just like, hey, here's this cake.
I've actually heard that 1901, the year of our federation, is based on the bringing of the the Lamington to the wider Australia. It's a celebration of Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Coconut.
Yeah.
I keep saying coconuts.
It's called synchronicity. It's the aligning of major events to create one gigantic, important situation. Anyway, Lamington's still popular in Australia today, obviously, and in New Zealand. Quite popular in New Zealand. And did you know that Friday, the 21st of July in 2006 was designated National Lamington Day in Australia?
I did not, but I'm a true Australian, Tim, where every day is Lamington Day in my house.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yep. So that's my lowdown on Lamingtons.
Damn.
Yeah, so they seemed late 1800s. The name's possibly Lord Lamington. Maybe his chef made them, but we still are not 100%, but that's the most likely scenario.
I really hope Lord Lamington's first name is Larry, Lord Larry Lamington.
Oh, yeah.
What I find interesting about that story and the most unbelievable part of it all is that when you're at a function, which you and I obviously go to heaps of functions, and someone brings around an unknown plate of something, I'm not that likely to take something from that plate. And so these people trusted...
Especially at the time when coconut was not something that people really ate.
Yeah, what's this white shit?
Yeah.
That you've just...
Why is there dandruff all over the fucking cake?
Right.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Did you put salt on this cake? Is this some kind of shaved salt? Yeah, so like that's what I'm just but it sounds good. However, Tim, as per usual, our friends across the pond, I'm talking about New Zealand, Tim, I'm talking about New Zealand, think they invented it. Ugh. It's the pavlova all over again.
Yeah. Bloody New Zealand and your beautiful countryside.
And your lovely people and your delicious biscuits.
And your unwavering loyalty to Australia as an ally. God damn you all.
Damn you all to heck. Tim, on the 1st of April, which I don't want anyone to read into that, in the year 2014, The Guardian, Australia's most trusted newspaper, posted an article called Lamington Invented in New Zealand. New research proves beyond a doubt.
Oh,
now, you would think that there'd be some hard science in this. You'd think there'd be some DNA testing. You think there'd be some strands of Lamington tracing it back to its roots, doing some carbon dating, finding out.
At least a pseudoscientific graph of some type like we see on A Current Affair. Come on.
But this is all taken down to the fact that there's a painting. There was a painting done in the 19th century. More specifically, the painting was done in... now I can't find the date. The painting was done in... No, that's all I got. 19th century. I'll find it later. 1888.
That's before what I said.
Got it. In 1888, a painting was done by J.R. Smythe. It's a watercolour of New Zealand. And on the kitchen table, Tim, is a half-eaten lamington.
Hang on, a watercolour of the entire of New Zealand.
Well, no, of a landscape.
The kitchen of New Zealand.
You son of a bitch. It's a bit of it. But there's a lamington on the table, half eaten. 1888, Tim.
How do we know it's a lamington?
Because it really looks like a lamington. Like if you see this picture, it looks like a lamington. I'll post it around. Now the thing is that they saw this, but also Lord Lamington himself went to New Zealand.
Shit.
Yeah.
He went there once? That's definitely true then.
Lord Lamington was in New Zealand. Let me have a look here. I'm really bad at research, it turns out. This is why Tim does all this stuff, because I just can't find stuff after I've seen it once. It seems to disappear from me altogether. It just says here that experts at the University of Auckland have examined archives which show records of a visit Lamington undertook to Wellington in 1895 before beginning in his tenure as Queensland governor. Let alone does it say that. It says, according to a New Zealand Herald News report of the visit, Lamington was much taken with the local sweets provided him by local bakers A.R. Levin. Among those sweets, Tim, the article states, was a Wellington, a double sponge dessert dressed in shavings of coconut intended to imitate the snow-capped mountains of New Zealand.
It's an interesting story, but I call bullshit on the whole thing.
I would only call bullshit for the fact that it was posted on the 1st of April, but there are some people in New Zealand who think it's theirs. Let alone does New Zealand think it's theirs, Tim. Our friends across the other pond, much further away...
The left pond.
In Scotland think it's theirs.
The Scots.
Now we've had tough relationship with the Scots. Tim and I specifically, not Australia, just Tim and I. We've had a hard time.
Oh
with
yeah,
Scots.
I've met a lot of Scots out at pubs. There was one guy, Scott Johnson. He was a fucking knob.
Yeah, fuck Scott.
I've never met a Scot I like, to be honest.
Now Tim, in the Scots claim that the Lamington comes from a sheep shearer's wife who lived in a village called Lamington.
Yeah, but have we done some research and found out if that village exists?
Well, it does.
Okay.
And it says that a group of, she prepared it for a group of itinerant. I don't
know what word you're trying to say.
We'll work it out later. Shearers, And then the best thing... So I'm on this website called australianlamingtons.blogspot.com.au.
So a well-trusted resource, yes.
Here's where it gets good. They decided to ask Jeeves about Lamingtons. I don't know how
when were they
found
writing this
Jeeves.
article? Yeah.
Mostly
Is this where Jeeves is?
2015.
Is this where Jeeves has been this whole time? He disappeared off the web because these guys asked where Lamingtons came from, and he's like, "Fucking hell, this is difficult." Gave up his day job, and he's been a PI for Lamingtons ever since.
So Lamington, Scotland, is a village in Lanarkshire on the left bank of the Clyde, 37 miles south of Edinburgh. Outrageous, Tim. It's bloody outrageous.
It is outrageous.
We can't have anything nice here, can we? This is why we can't have nice things. Every time that we make something, we make the Lamington, we make beautiful things. New Zealand says it's ours. And this time, Scotland's like, it's also ours.
Yeah.
There's also a whole bunch of different places in like England and stuff called Lamington. There's like the village of Lamington in Scotland. There's a place called Leamington Spa, like Leamig in Warwickshire.
That makes sense because like if he was a Lord Lamington, then there's probably a bunch of shit that's named after him over there.
Lamington, Lemm in Northumberland.
That's where lemmings come from.
Yes, it is. That's where that game and the little men that they are come from. So this is a big issue, Tim. I think that we need to, upon our path of righteousness, upon our path of trying to find Harold, and providing the world and Australia with the information that they not only don't need, but they do need, we need to make sure that the Lamington is claimed by its rightful owner, which is Australia.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but every time I meet someone from New Zealand or Scotland, there's just this one moment where we kind of like lock eyes and we know that we're both in a battle right now.
Yeah. I've never had that experience myself, but sure, why not? Look, no, I think the best way to test it is to put a sword in a pile of Lamingtons, and whoever can extract the sword is the once and future.
Whoever can pull out the largest piece of desiccated coconut wins.
Just a massive shard of desiccated coconut. That would be incredible.
You know the thing about Lamington in Scotland, though, is that Alexander Dundas Ross Cochrane Bailey...
What a name.
That's a fucking name. Was the Conservative member for Bridport, Lanarkshire, Honiton, and the Isle of Wight, blah, 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 in various periods, which meant that he became Baron Lamington.
Baron. Is Baron higher
this
than
is
a
in
lord?
1846 to 1880, in that time frame. And he held 10,833 acres in the Shire. His mansion, Lamington House, finally seated on the hill slope of on the hill slope, a little E of the village is a modern Elizabethan edifice with pleasant grounds. I don't know what that means. Anyway, that was fun.
Yeah, cool story, bro.
Basically, it's ours. It's ours.
That's that's what it comes down to.
All I can think about right now, because I think, because when you dip a Lamington, you got to use like a fork or something, otherwise you're going to get messy, and you want to get full coverage. But I've also got this image running through my head right now. Have you seen it when they use like they put a baking tray down, they put like the grate thing on top of it, like a cake cooler.
Yeah.
They put that on top of the baking tin, and then they pour the chocolate on top of the Lamington that drips down.
The chocolate they use in Lamingtons looks kind of gross, but my goodness, does it taste good.
It tastes very good.
So we were talking before, because here's the thing, that there's different Lamington types in a way. Like all Lamingtons are basically the same, but depending where you get them, they vary, don't they?
So you get your store bought, your regular run-of-the-mill supermarket Lamington comes in a pack of like 12 probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't count them but I just eat them all.
Yeah.
And they're small. They're like smaller than your palm.
Yeah. You can get like the Lamington fingers, which is what you're talking about. But then they also do have like the bigger block ones, which usually come in a pack of 6.
Yeah. And then you get like a proper big bakery one, which is like the size of a house.
The ones that you want to get, if you're going to come to Australia and you're going to try Lamingtons, you need to find yourself, at the very least, like a Baker's Delight or a Brumbies, which are like chain store bakeries.
Yeah, chain bakeries.
But if you can, you got to find one of those sweet bakeries that look dodgy as fuck, that sell their Lamingtons for like $2, because that, my friends, is the true gold of Australia.
The name of these bakeries is probably just like insert suburb name here, bakery.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just bakery.
The tiles look disgusting.
It's always white.
Yeah.
A lot of white tile. got a good cabinet in front.
It's like a really badly fitted out shop. No, but
they make the best Lamingtons.
They're the best Lamingtons. They're so fluffy on the inside, and gee whiz, I want one right now.
Now, if you get into the brass tacks of it, Tim, you can have your Lamington with cream in the middle, or you can have it with jam in the middle, or you can have it with jam and cream in the middle. But I'm a bit of a stickler for the rules. I just like a plain.
Yeah, it depends on the circumstance. Sometimes I like a little bit of jam in there, especially if I'm getting supermarket ones, because they can get a bit dry, can't they?
They can.
But if I'm going for the almighty bakery nugget of Lamington, I'm going plain.
I had a Turkish Delight Lamington the other week.
What?
So the Lamington was pink. It was like rose
water.
Oh,
yeah. I've heard of the
and
pink
a bit
ones.
of coconut. It was actually good, but definitely wasn't a Lamington.
I haven't heard that they were Turkish Delight. I've heard of, and I've seen strawberry ones, so like pink icing, which just seems like an absolutely sacrilegious. It's like pulling your dick out and rubbing it in the face of God, in my opinion.
Wow, that took a weird turn. Yeah. Do I edit that out? No, I'm going to leave that one. But that's on Tim. I only made a religious joke at the beginning. Tim's gone too far. No, but you would do that. Have you seen the double choc ones where it's like choc sponge? I think because if you make it with choc
sponge,
like you don't have to use vanilla sponge. It's too much.
No.
What if you do choc sponge and vanilla icing? Ugh, the reverse Lamington.
The reverse Lamington.
I'm going to make it for you when I make Lamington soup.
Wow.
At least it's been gone for like less than 12 hours and I'm already making Lamington soup.
Yeah, okay. So if you've got chocolate sponge with vanilla icing, what's the reverse of the coconut? Because you got to reverse the coconut as well.
Put the coconut inside.
No. What is the opposite of coconut?
What is anti-coconut? Rice?
Ugh.
Chickpeas, lentils. I don't know. What is the reverse of a coconut? It has to be. It has to be a ground. It has to be from the ground because coconuts are in the tree.
True.
It should probably. We'll try and keep it as a fruit. Do any fruits grow in the ground? No,
not really. It could be a root of some description. A taro.
A taro root?
They're kind of sweet.
Rhubarb. Some desiccated rhubarb.
Tastes really nice.
I don't know what the opposite of a coconut, Tim, is. That's not what I set out to do today.
Anyway, we've gone on a very weird tangent with
We
this
have,
one.
but do you hear that sound, Tim?
No, but I'm assuming it'll be edited in later. So.
It will be, because, Tim, it's time for the Harold Holt Watch. Tim.
Yeah.
As always, someone's written something in because we are the #1 Australian podcast.
It's true.
About Australia.
Yeah.
With Tim and Liam. Sorry, I had to put those like little prefixes in there so no one gets upset. Tim, we got a letter. And by letter, I mean electronic letter. And it says...
An e-letter, if you will.
Dear Tim and Leon. Mm-hmm. Good start. My name is Daniel, and I have a bit of a tale for you.
I thought he was going to have a tail, like an actual tail.
He might. He did spell it that way. No.
Some people do have vestigial tails. Daniel, do you have a tail?
Daniel, this is very important. I can't read your letter until you answer this question. Do you or do you not have a vestigial tail? If the answer is yes, I will read your letter.
I think it's more common than people realize.
I will read your letter.
I don't have one, just to clarify.
Isn't that in Shallow Hal where George Costanza's... What's that guy's real name?
Jason Alexander.
Doesn't he have a vestigial tail? And he wiggles it at one point?
I can't remember Shallow Hal except
that... Not a good film.
Except that
it's not a good
the girl was actually fat.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, the Gwyneth Paltrow. Okay, here we go. I have a bit of a tale for you. I was walking through Tokyo the other day, and I spotted a very peculiar sight.
Oh, what's he doing in Tokyo?
He didn't clarify. He didn't have a lot of time to write this letter by the seam of it. It seems like it was written in the last minute.
Right, okay.
There was a large Pikachu crossing back and forth in one of the main intersections. This is not out of the ordinary. However, I caught Pikachu heading off to his lunch break. I saw him pull off his head, the fake one.
Right.
And as he lit up his cigarette, the sun hit his face. His real one.
Radio.
All right, Daniel. In such a way that I could have sworn it was Harold Holt. And
jeez,
as soon as he saw me staring, he quickly stubbed out his durry and ran off. Weird shit, guys. Anyway, I love your show. I can't wait for you to come to Japan. Thanks, Daniel. Oof.
It's nice to see Daniel's pushing this Japan tour as hard as you are. Good.
Yep. Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah.
It's almost like, what if, Tim? Here's some spook for your spook factor, considering it's Spooktober.
It is Spooktober.
Maybe, just maybe, Harold Holt is our listener in Bunkyo.
And he listens to it 85 times a week.
Well, it's not 85 times a week. It is 85 times a week. No, it's 85 times. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It was 85 times the first week.
I think it's Harold.
Yeah.
I think he's listening. Harold, if you're listening, come home.
Harold, mate, just sit down for a sec. We need to chat. Mate, if you can get me onto Terrace House, that would be really fucking good. I know you probably, if you got that Pikachu costume on, you've definitely got some connections in the entertainment industry. Please pull some strings. Come home, I guess, but first get me on Terrace House.
Harold, if you could just send me back some Hello Pandas, but like the good shit. Like, can you just, and then or you can send me over there. Can you just pay for me over there? Thanks. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
We're going to the city later. Let's go to Daiso. That's completely unrelated to what we're talking about. Yes,
Tim and I are going to the city, and what we're going to do is probably go to Daiso, but we're definitely getting Lamingtons.
Oh, we're definitely getting Lamingtons.
That is without question. Tim, I've had a bloody good time with you today.
Yeah, it's not been bad, has it?
It's been a roller coaster emotion. First, I thought we invented it. Then I think we didn't. Then I was reminded that we did invent it, and here we are.
What an excellent summary of
events.
Yeah.
And Tim, you know what? This one was also a good episode, just in case anyone's wondering. I want to, as always, plug the fact that we are now part of the Auscast Network. That's AUSCAST.
Not OZ.
Network, not OZ.
The network
Z.
is not OZ.
Z, mate. Where are we? What country are we in? Hey.
Yeah, right.
Australia is where we are. I'm just reminding you.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
But Auscast Network. You can find them on Facebook and Twitter, and you can find their website. Lots of great shows there. Lots of really good shows. Once Upon a Tangent, Bad Cast. Is this movie for you? One newsman and a web guy.
I've heard of one that they've got on there called Yeah G'day. That's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, I've got that in my backlog. I'll probably get around to it. I've got other things to listen to first. But,
Yeah.
So they're a great network. We love them, and thanks for having us on there. You can find this episode. Well, I was about to tell you where you find this episode, but you're listening to it. Tell your friends where to find the episode.
Yeah. This episode is just playing on your iPod. You're like, what? Where is this coming from? It's like, you can find me. It's Spooktober. We're coming at you from all angles.
If this episode just started happening for you, you should get yourself checked out.
Yeah.
Do you ever just walk around your house and just start hearing "Yeah, G'day" in your ears? I do. It's me talking. Thanks for. I don't know what I was saying there. Thanks to Teylor Smirl, Smelly T Smell for our wonderful cover art.
And to Curtis Fernance, that's Fern Tree Music on Facebook, for the introduction, outroduction, and of course, that well-edited in Harold Holt music that I couldn't hear before, but definitely heard on the track. You would have heard it anyway. He's a good guy. Bloody gives us music. Cheers for that.
What if he was a bad guy? Would you tell people? Would you tell everyone?
Oh, not really.
Hey, Curtis, he makes music for us. Also, horrible guy.
Yeah. Not a fan of him as a person. No,
Curtis is great. I love Curtis. Good for him. He done well for himself. Look, that's all I can think of today. And that's all we've got time for today. Tune in next week for Yeah, Good Day. Make sure you share it with your friends. It's important that you share it with someone. Otherwise, the internet will die. That's
scientifically not true.
I did some tests last night, Tim. Elisa's been gone. I've become a scientist. Elisa's been... And now she's gone, I can do my science again.
Yeah, Elisa's gone overseas. We didn't talk about that, did we?
We don't need to, because I don't want to cry on the podcast.
Yeah, right.
Nah, she'll be right. See ya.
Welcome to my life.
Welcome to my... Anyway, tangents, as always. Tim. As always.
Every time.
Yeah, g'day, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, Leon.
Yeah, g'day, everyone.
Yeah, g'day, everyone. Catch you on the flippity flop.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to auscastnetwork.com for details.